We're following breaking news out of the NFL where the Cardinals are sticking with Jacoby Brissett as their starter at quarterback for this week's game against the first place Seahawks. Kyler Murray's been dealing with a foot sprain, and Jacoby Brissett has started the last 3 games, including the Monday night victory at Dallas. A couple of things here as we're taking a look at the two quarterbacks. After last night's victory, Jonathan Gannon, when asked if Kyler Murray was still a starting quarterback when healthy, said, quote, "Yeah, nothing's changed on that. That's how I feel, but things have changed less than a day after." I'm Tommy Tran with Rand Carthon to talk about the change, or at least the change in direction, as it seems, with the head coach, Jonathan Gannon. So, Jacoby Brissett for yet another week. What are your thoughts regarding the announcement?
I would say on one hand, I'm not surprised by this move. Now, granted, if Kyler is not healthy, then yeah, Jacoby Brissett should be the starter. But I think this is a situation where they should really look into him being the starter for the remainder of the season, because you saw an offense that played on time. Everyone has been so critical of Marvin Harrison Jr. and his lack of production in this offense. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a guy that's used to having the ball come out when he's at the top of his route, when he's created separation. And I don't know if you saw it, Tommy, but his father came out this week and kind of spoke candidly about his lack of involvement in the offense and just the overall lack of structure to the offense. But with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, everything is coming out on time, and these receivers are, as long as they're where they're supposed to be, they know they have a chance to get the football, and not every pass play turns into the scramble drill.
That's been evident as well with Trey McBride, who we regard as one of the elite tight ends, especially when it comes to catching touchdowns. There's the Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown as well. So there was a couple things here today in which Jonathan Gannon had his news conference with the local media when talking about Kyler Murray. Said he's keeping to work on his health bucket, did not rule out Kyler Murray, and yet just a few minutes ago, ESPN reporting that multiple doctors have looked at that foot injury. A timetable could be anywhere to 4 to 8 weeks. So again, at the very least, Rand, there's a little bit of inconsistency or discrepancy when it comes to what the head coach is saying and what we're seeing from a report. Yeah,
so some of it too is gamesmanship, if you will, with the head coach, because they don't want to give out the extent of the injury, right? Because that allows the upcoming opponents to kind of prepare and understand what they're going against. But then also on the other side of it, it could be a situation that we're looking at where just simply the quarterback and the organization aren't on the same page, just in terms of his health and how soon he should be back in the recovery of it. Now, the one thing that I thought was very interesting, and we were just sitting here talking about it off air, is that Kyler Murray carries an injury-only guarantee for 2026, and so we don't know the severity of this foot injury and how that's going to impact the potential move that could happen this offseason, because there have been reports over the last couple of days that the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray are headed for a separation this offseason.
And I'll kind of put you in the spot there because you signed that 5-year, $230.5 million deal in 2022. Again, they just won 2 straight, lost 5 straight, got off the schneid, so they're 3-5, facing a Seahawks team that's number 1 in their division. The 4 to 8 weeks could really tell us about where Arizona is going to be. So just in terms of what you've seen, the Kyler Murray's future in Arizona, does this very much put this in doubt, you think?
No, I think it does, and I think this was going to always be a potential make it or break it season for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. And here's why: you have a GM in Monty Ossenfort, you have a head coach in Jonathan Gannon, who did not draft Kyler Murray, who did not extend Kyler Murray, and so they have not had the opportunity to bring in their long-term answer or solution at the quarterback position. And so this could have been the year where we'll see where we are as an organization, and if we can't quite get over the hump, then it's probably time for us to move on. Because if you look at the rest of that NFC West right now, everyone is there with 6 wins, and it's really jumbled and crowded at the top with the Rams and the Seahawks and the 49ers. And we see it here on this graphic. Everyone here is above 500 with the exception of the Cardinals. Now, they can help themselves if they beat the Seahawks this upcoming weekend, which is going to be tough to do, because we're talking about one of the high-power offenses who just traded for Rashid Shaheed, which is going to give them an explosive playmaker, and they have a top-5 defense. But looking at the rest of this schedule,
that's a tough schedule.
It's a tough onslaught. I mean, where is a win in there? Now, we know any given Sunday, a team can win.
Right.
We've seen that happen, but that is going to be a tough onslaught for them no matter who's at quarterback, whether it's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett.
As it stands, the Cardinals are 6.5-point underdogs against the Seattle Seahawks. That game will be in the Pacific Northwest. Rand, certainly appreciate it. Thanks for your insight on the breaking news. Game day recap Sundays at 8:20 Eastern with Rand, Haley Sutton, Pete Prisco, and Damian Harris. Make sure you keep it on HQ Sunday night.